What could card check mean for Pennsylvania's workers? I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Local Edition. With me this hour is Susan Staub with the Pennsylvania Right to Work. Thanks so much for being with us, Susan.
Nice to be with you, Jill.
Talk to us a little bit about your organization and who you actually represent.
Our organization represents individual employees who want to have their own free choice in whether or not they're supporting labor unions or not. So we support workers from all walks of life in all employment areas who are both union and non-union in their efforts to get their own individual choice back.
What are some of the challenges that Pennsylvania is facing at this point in terms of job retention? Obviously, the entire country is having challenges financially because of this economic downturn, but what's happening right here in Pennsylvania?
Exactly. In Pennsylvania, we're bleeding jobs. I mean, jobs are running out of here. We have lost several of our largest companies in the last just 6 months. Carlisle, several individuals have left because they can't do business here. And the individual workers are concerned that their union officials are not representing their interests because they want to remain in the state. They have homes, families, several generations here. And so for Pennsylvania, this becomes a very critical question that we need to bring import liberty into our Commonwealth and export coercion. The states that are doing well in our country are those states that have expanded liberty, and they are growing like crazy, and we're not. We're losing population and we're losing jobs, and so we've reached a critical mass in Pennsylvania where the old ways of doing things just don't work. And the employees and the tax-paying citizens know this, so they're looking for change that isn't just small items going on in a budget. They're looking for change that's revolutionary for this state so that we can grow as the other states which have right-to-work laws are doing.
When we talk about the role of unions, obviously, historically, unions have served a very important role. Things, for example, like the 8-hour workday were established because of union intervention and union organization. Has that role changed? Are you starting to see a trend of people walking away from that?
Exactly, we are. Younger workers, the newer economies don't want them, don't see a need for them, don't see a purpose for them. We're talking about the times in the early 30s in this country, the 1930s, and that doesn't exist anymore, nor do those kinds of jobs. We're looking at more high-tech employment. We're looking at a totally revolutionized workforce who sees no reason to want these unions, and for those organizations that have been unionized before, they're much more interested in working with the companies to retain their jobs and retain their living here rather than old, archaic work rules.
You mentioned the concept of free choice, and this federal proposal is actually called the Employee Free Choice Act, often known as card check. So explain to us why you don't think this is necessarily a good tool for the workforce, because it would, in theory, give workers the ability to organize more readily or easily into unionization.
You hit the most important point there, Jill. In theory would do this, and it's a badly misnamed piece of legislation. It's not about the employee's freedom. What it is about is propping up labor unions that are old and archaic and don't want to be there. And the proof of that, their existence is no longer needed. The proof of that is that the workers themselves don't want the FCA or card check, which is better known. Both union and non-union members have said consistently in opinion polls across the country that they don't want this. So the union officials do, because it props up unions that are not earning on their own merit, but the employees do not. They do not want to change the rules of the game. What they want is what they have had, the ability to work with their employer and to have the benefits that they do have, but they don't want to change, which would eliminate secret ballots, for example. That is not a pro-worker move to eliminate secret ballots. I'm working with several union organizers at the present time who want card check defeated. And the reason they want it defeated is it's taking away what the tenets of unionism have been built on, which are democratic principles. Employees choose unions by elections. Employees choose their officers by election, and they further choose their contracts. And so it's not a pro-worker legislation.
All right, a very controversial issue at this point, but thanks for being with us, Susan.
Thank you, Jill. It's my pleasure.
We've been talking with Susan Staub of Pennsylvania Right to Work. I'm Jill Horner.